We got our cameras rolling for the simulcast. We're less than 2 minutes away. So if you got a lightsaber, turn it on. All right, we're gonna do our right hand one more time. You ready, Mark?
I'm ready.
You ready to get this party started this weekend?
We got episode 7 lightsabers. Give me episode 7 lightsabers nice and high. We got one over there and one over here. There we go. Now we're filming this.
All right, hands up, right one. Maybe stretch out those fingers a little bit.
Work 'em
If you
out.
want to stand up, stand up.
Stand up.
If you want to sit down, sit down. This is your weekend. It's about you guys. Our ultimate Star Wars fans. Here we go, right hand. Let's show them how it's done.
Yeah. This is Star Wars Celebration Anaheim rocking out right now. Yeah. Up in the top, you guys are looking good.
I'm excited, Mark. One more time. Star Wars Celebration. On the count of 3. I want you all to make as much noise as possible because it's
about to go down. Now here's the deal. Not often are you guys going to get to see the director of episode 7, so when he walks out on stage, you guys know what to do, right? We want you guys to blow the roof off of the convention center. That's what we need.
1, 2, 3.
Please welcome your host from Entertainment Weekly, Anthony Bresnikan.
I love that they open with that song because there's definitely a cantina vibe in this room, in this arena today. Are you feeling it? It's not just in this room. Star Wars Celebration is beginning with this presentation of Star Wars The Force Awakens, which I know you guys have been waiting to hear about for a long, long time. But it's not just this room. It's not just the folks who are waiting all night to get in here. This is being live streamed. Let's hear it for those people. Who got some of J.J. Abrams' handmade pizza last night? Yeah? But it's not just here in Anaheim, it is around the world. This is an unprecedented live streaming event. It is in 23 countries. We have people in theaters around the world. It's live streaming in China, which is also extremely rare. And this is the 10th celebration, but it's the 7th one held here in the United States. And I think that's kind of an interesting symmetry, introducing the 7th film in this beloved franchise. It's called Celebration, and you celebrate with your friends and your family, and you share it with them. And so I've been told to tell you, for those who are tweeting or watching at home, this is live streaming on Facebook and at StarWars.com. If you tweet certain hashtags, some emojis that are appropriate to Star Wars: The Force Awakens will pop up. There will be more as time goes on, as we get closer to the release of the movie. But for now, if you want to unlock that, you tweet hashtag Stormtrooper. What appears? Stormtrooper. Hashtag C-3PO. You get everybody's favorite protocol droid. Hashtag BB-8. One of the newcomers to The Force Awakens. The beloved ball droid we saw in the teaser trailer released last November. And this means a lot to me. I write about movies for Entertainment Weekly. And one thing I love about my job is the chance to just sit down and talk to storytellers and bring the stories they're trying to tell to the fans. And today I get to do that in front of a live audience of many thousands here and millions watching elsewhere. But who remembers the first time they saw Star Wars? Vividly remembers it. Because, you know, another thing I love about writing for EW is, for me, movies and songs and books, they're more than just entertainment. I feel like they're landmarks in our lives. They're the things that we share with the people we love. Brothers, sisters, moms, dads, aunts, uncles, grandparents, great-grandparents, if you're lucky enough to have those. And my first movie-going memory is tied up in Star Wars. I think I had to have been about 4 years old in 1980 when The Empire Strikes Back came out. And I had never seen a movie before. I mean, I don't remember it at least, but I remember going to the theater, rushing to the theater to see The Empire Strikes Back because we were late, right? And it was summertime. I remember because it was blistering hot. We were going to the Cinemas 3 in Kiski Township outside of Pittsburgh. And summer in Pittsburgh is very Dagobah-like. It's very hot. It's very sweaty. And when you're running across a blazing hot parking lot to get into the theater because the movie's already started, it's even hotter. And I just remember the panic, like, we've got to get there. We go to the box office, we buy our tickets, we get in through the door, we sweep past the concession stand, and we go through those double doors into the theater. The trailers have already played. It's pitch black, and we're, you know, you've all gone into a darkened theater. Like, you take a moment and kind of wait for your eyes to adjust before you can find your seat. And so that's what we did, but my eyes were up on this giant wall. It looked to me not like a movie screen, because I'd never been to the movies before. It just seemed like a window, a giant window, and there were these curtains, and we'd just come from this sweltering summer heat into the air-conditioned room of this theater. And there were these Imperial walkers in this snowy landscape marching toward me. And to me, that wasn't a movie screen. I felt like I was looking through a window into another world. And every time I watch these Star Wars movies, I feel the same way. I'm sure you do too, right? So let's bring out two people who are opening that window again for us. Please welcome the director of The Force Awakens, also the co-writer and the producer, J.J. Abrams. Of The Force Awakens and the president of Lucasfilm, the person who's creating a whole new series of films, Kathleen Kennedy. He's tweeting. Be patient, everyone. You can tweet too.
You guys look amazing. Thanks for the pizza.
Hi. This is amazing. That's a nice reception. You're welcome. Thank you for waiting.
How many out there waited all night long? Okay, well, we're going to try very hard not to put you to sleep.
And it went crazy.
Wait, I just have to say last night, I was so excited as we were walking through that I ran in before anybody got inside and I bought this t-shirt.
It's too bad you don't know anyone who could send you a Star Wars t-shirt.
I know, but it's so much more important to pick things up here at Celebration because it isn't anywhere else. So I had to have it first.
Well, let's start talking about this movie. And that's what everybody wants to hear. JJ, you directed this film, you co-wrote it, you produced it. But like me, like a lot of people in this room, you grew up with Star Wars. It was part of your childhood. So how important was it in shaping your life as a kid?
Well, first of all, I'd just like to say thank you to all of you who are here. This is overwhelming and incredibly exciting. I'm sure, like many of you, the experience I had seeing Star Wars for the first time was mind-blowing. I was 11 years old when it came out, and 11 was a great age to have my mind blown. And I'll never forget that feeling of seeing a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away fade out, and those words hit the screen with that incredible music, and it was that moment on that just transported me. It was the first time a movie made me laugh that way and made me believe in another world that way, and it was really George Lucas's brilliance, not only creating these incredible characters and this amazing universe, but also that it had such heart, and the biggest thing for me is it had such hope, and that to me was incredibly powerful, even 11 years old.
So were you a collector? Did you have the toys? Did you ever dress up for Halloween?
It sounds like someone must have told you something. I did one Halloween one year dress up as a Jawa, but I don't want to tell you what year it was.
So Kathy, people have been waiting for this moment for a few years now, ever since Disney picked up, merged with Lucasfilm, and they announced that there would be a new series of films. Can you tell us about your transition from producer to the president of Lucasfilm, launching this whole new series of films?
Well, I have to say that when George asked me to have lunch with him, and it was almost 3 years to the day that I sat down with George in a small little restaurant in New York, and he said, I'm retiring, and I'm thinking about moving on, and I'd like somebody to come in and carry on this legacy. And I thought he was going to ask me recommendations on who might do that. And I said, who are you thinking about? And he said, well, I was thinking about you. And needless to say, thank you. As any of you can imagine, it is an incredibly daunting task. And I've been unbelievably fortunate. Obviously, the background I had in working with Steven Spielberg for many years and working with George Lucas on all the Indiana Jones movies, I think it did prepare me, but I must say that when I turned to the guy on my right and said, will you help me do this? I can't do it alone. Thank God, although he didn't say yes right away.
Yeah. What was your initial reaction when she said, join me and together we'll rule the galaxy?
No. But I said no, partly because it was an incredibly daunting thing, partly because my family and I had this plan, what we're going to be doing that next year, partly because it felt like I'd been doing sequels and things in the past, and I just wanted to sort of break away from that. But when I sat down with you to have this conversation, and we actually were sitting there talking about what could come next and what it would be. I mean, you can imagine, it's a very different thing, very much like this moment. You can anticipate it and expect what it's like to come out and see a room full of fans, but to actually be here with you is a very different and wonderful experience. So this was an unexpected reaction because I really thought I would just say no, and I found myself having this conversation with you. It was impossible to say no.
Now, he said yes.
Thank you, JJ.
Thank you, Kathy.
So one of the things that's been noted about this film is Star Wars has always pushed the boundaries of visual effects, but you're kind of taking a retro approach this time around. You build a lot of practical sets. I hear people like that.
That's an awesome reaction. I will say that when we started talking about actually what the story would be and how to make it happen, the thing that struck me. Oh yeah, there we are.
It's really fun
It's
flying.
them flying here
Just
today.
driving to work.
Yeah, we're flying.
Well, When we were working on pre-production of the movie, the thing that struck me, and it wouldn't go, get out of my head, is just how real you knew and felt Star Wars was when you first saw A New Hope. And that feeling of actually being in, whether they were shooting in Tunisia or on various physical, tangible sets, you couldn't deny it. And I knew, look, it's Star Wars, right? There are going to be an endless number of effects that will be done, CG and otherwise, of course. But we needed a standard. And we needed to set a standard that was real, that felt like, you knew the people were in those places. The way the light interacts with the set, you want it to be legitimate. You want it to be authentic. And so building as much as we possibly could was really the mandate. And I will tell you, the amazing thing is, as we're working now, of course, finishing up the edit of the film, even before ILM gets started doing their spectacular work, it's an amazing thing to actually be able to watch the movie and you can see what it is. You don't need to use your imagination because we actually had those sets there. It was great for the actors too.
Giving the Stormtroopers some direction. Now,
I just want to say, right now, everybody in this amazing creature shop that we worked with, that made every single thing you're looking at in the movie, are all gathered together right now in London, and they're watching it, live streaming right now.
For the folks in the creature shop, not just applause and cheering, could everybody make their best Wookiee roar for those guys right now? I want to hear 1,000. That's cool. Thank you.
Close to a Bruce Springsteen concert.
There they are. That's them. No!
Them now, right? Watching from London. You began filming, the first 10 days of this movie were on location in Abu Dhabi, a desert landscape. People have seen desert landscapes before in Star Wars. What are we seeing? And what was it like to start shooting in such an inhospitable environment?
It was an incredible thing to shoot there. It was 128 degrees. The amazing thing about, there it is, that's a picture, Kathy Kennedy took that photograph.
On my iPhone.
Yeah, there you go. Shooting in Abu Dhabi was an incredible thing. Star Wars is as much a Western and a fairy tale as it is anything else. And one of the things that you expect and want to see are real, tangible, John Ford, beautiful landscapes. And shooting in Abu Dhabi provided just that. It was an incredible thing to be there. And the location is a desert planet called Jakku. People have thought it's Tatooine. It's a planet called Jakku, and you'll learn a lot more about Jakku, maybe even today.
Is there anything else you could say? Of course, with Tatooine, it has the two suns. Is there anything about the place of this planet in the universe that you can tell us about?
No. But I promise you'll see more today.
One of the first opportunities that everyone got to see the sets that you've been talking about were the Force for Change videos that you made, and you showed off some creatures, you showed off the new X-Wing. So tell us about the first wave of the Force for Change program. What were the effects of that?
Here's the thing. I don't need to tell any of you here, or most of you watching, but there's a great tradition in the Star Wars community of giving back. And when Kathy and I first started working on this, we realized that this was an amazing opportunity to engage with the fans for at least a decade, if not more. And we were inspired by the fans themselves. And we went to Disney to Bob Iger and Alan Horn, Alan Bergman, and convinced them. They completely got the opportunity and saw it, and really demonstrated incredible leadership in doing so. We're so grateful to them. And we started Force for Change. The first day of shooting, we engaged the fans. We offered an opportunity to be in the movie, donating $10 to UNICEF, which is one of the great organizations doing amazing work with children around the world. And for a $10 donation, you have a chance to be in the film. And I will say that thanks to you, to this day, we've raised over $6 million for UNICEF, which is amazing, in the name of Force for Change. And that's money that is doing real work right now with UNICEF Innovation Labs for children, thousands of children throughout the world. And that's really an amazing thing, and thank you for that.
And that's not the end of it now. Force for Change is kicking up again as you go toward the December release of the movie. So, Kathy, tell us what's next for the Force for Change.
We're really excited about this continued relationship with UNICEF, and we're going to join forces with a program called Kid Power. In fact, I'm wearing one of the bands right now. And what happens in the classroom is that kids wear these bands. And in fact, I was walking through the hall testing this, and after you take so many steps, it actually triggers a therapeutic packet of food for children who are malnourished all over the world. And this is a program that we're hoping will become a movement. Disney has stepped up, and they are spending $1 million on the program. Fans have contributed through Humble Bumble another $1 million, and we're hoping that Star Wars will ignite this and really turn it into a worldwide movement. So we're very excited by our relationship with them.
Now, since we're here at Celebration, let's talk about your history, both of you, with this event. JJ, you've gone as a fan before, right?
Yeah, I've been before, and it was great to come here this morning and get to walk through some of the stalls and meet some of you. And it was just an incredible thing to see the time and the effort and the passion that goes into so many of the booths. It's amazing.
And Kathy, you were in Germany at the last Celebration 2 years ago. Was it your first time there?
It was my first time at Celebration. George had actually been telling me over and over again how amazing it was. I had just missed Orlando. So when I got to Essen, I have to say I was wildly unprepared for what I was walking into, and just astounded, as JJ is saying, about the quality of the work and the level of creativity. And one of the areas I walked by were the R2-D2s that had been built. And this guy's right down here. And
fan-built R2-D2.
Right, fan-built. Everything that is actually, we didn't get to run up to the second floor today, but I understand there's over 100 R2-D2s, so I can't wait to see that. But the incredible thing was, when I was literally leaving Essen and going back to London, where we were prepping the movie, and I turned to our creature shop and I said, I think we've got to hire those guys out of Celebration. Let's track down who they were. And we hired Oliver and Lee.
Yeah. Would you like to meet the droid mechanics? Let's bring out Lee Towersy and Oliver Steeples. And friend. Celebration, guys. Welcome, R2. Let's hear from R2-D2. This is actual R2-D2 from the movie. So Lee and Oliver, you were once guys out there in the audience. Now you're up here on the stage. You are fans who have now contributed to the Star Wars universe. Give people a little sense of what that feels like.
There's absolutely nothing that prepares it like to sit here. Several years ago, I was out there sort of watching the stage, and here I am. It's like, how do you put that into words?
It was awesome. It was like every day we went to work with a smile on our face. It was
Yeah. So you got the job because of your fidelity to recreating the original R2-D2, but tell us about your own contribution. Like, what is your own little artistic spin on the Force Awakens version of R2-D2?
Well, this picture here now, this is a new design dome. JJ gave the request for some domes, so we were kindly left to create a new dome, which JJ was happy with. And this is an R0 dome, and the white one is R-O-L-O, Rollo, and the L-O stands for Lee and Oliver, so hopefully that will be used.
You named one after yourself.
And these are 4 other domes for X-Wings, basically bringing the R5 and R6 into the Star Wars universe, and you'll see them on the back of various X-Wings.
So this is interesting because you're not building the full droid on these. These are just the domes, right? To attach to the practical X-Wing fighters that you built as sets, right?
Yeah, so every specific pilot has their own droid in the back, and you'll see, I can't give it away, but which droid goes with which pilot.
I just got to say that you guys did an amazing job, and it was, it's a very stressful thing every day. You're working. These things have to work well. Whenever there was a malfunction, you guys were on it and repaired it almost immediately. There was never a costly droid delay, so we were very grateful.
Droids always work. Let's hear it for the tinkerers of The Force Awakens, the human Jawas. And Oliver Steeples. Thank you very much, guys. Let's hear it again for R2-D2. So let's move now from the robot. Oh, we have to bring out one more.